Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephen Baxter and I'm a singer and vocal coach based in the Glasgow area in Scotland. I teach singing online, and if you want to work with me you can find my links in the description. Today I'm going to do my first reaction video. I love watching reaction videos, so I wanted to make one. I'm going to react to a video called Explained, What is Resonance? It's by the channel I Love Aretha Franklin, which I love this channel, I watch all their videos. But as soon as I saw this one, I've saw it before and I saw it a while ago, and as soon as I saw it I wanted to kind of analyse it, so I'm going to do that now. So let's get started.
The voice, the singing, the technique.
I love the intro as well.
Explained.
So dramatic.
Resonance. What is resonance?
The blend, such different voices. That's really good editing.
Resonance is the acoustical property or quality of a sound that gives it projection. And there are three types of resonance: pharyngeal, nasal, and mask.
That doesn't sound like mask, it sounds, well, mask is nasal resonance, that's what mask is, so what I'm trying to say is that sounds exactly the same as what Shaka was doing. So, I mean, mask is a nasal resonance, so I don't really understand the difference.
Pharyngeal resonance comes from utilizing the pharynx. The pharynx is the space behind your tongue and right above the esophagus, or simply the inside of your throat. Music educator Manuel Garcia refers to the pharynx as the body's main resonator.
This is true, but I mean, this woman, the guy before that, it did kind of sound like pharyngeal resonance, but it's different for guys and women. This woman, it sounds like mask because she's in full head voice, so it sounds like nasal resonance to me.
Pharyngeal resonance is most associated with opera and old school gospel.
If you notice, she's singing really low in her voice, so the only difference for me between pharyngeal resonance and nasal resonance is the range you're singing in. So, like for instance, for me, like my first passaggio or first break, whatever you want to call it, starts on an F4, well, between like an F and F sharp maybe, and it goes up until my second passaggio, which is like kind of A, B flat, 4. So when I'm in that area, like in my passaggio, I feel like my voice is more like in the pharynx. It sounds like it's pharyngeal resonance. It sounds like it's kind of like in the middle of your head. I like to think of it as it's like above the soft palate, and I think that's associated with that because you have to raise your soft palate to kind of get to that mix area. So it does feel like there, but once I get to my second passaggio and you're getting like more towards your head voice, you have to have nasal resonance. So I don't think there's like one that's right and one that's wrong. I think it's more just like where you are in your voice.
Indicator that someone is using pharyngeal resonance isn't the fact that their singing voice will not sound like their speaking voice.
Well, I just give it to them. You got to learn to show kindness.
I'm Simon Estes, co-founder of the Simon Estes Educational Foundation, Inc.
resonance will allow you to achieve a bigger, darker sound with a lot more depth.
John Barry, who wrote all the theme music for the Bond films, we were doing a concert tour of England. And we
yeah, I would agree with Shirley Bassey. I mean, she does have a big voice though, but she doesn't bear it really high. So if you want to kind of get to like the higher regions of your voice, you have to use nasal resonance. It's not a bad thing.
The score very early, so my music was fitting like a glove, and I'm glad of that.
And I came in and saw.
Again, I think like Leontine Price, that's mask, you know, because she's singing opera, so you can't really compare it to Shirley Bassey.
And they started singing with me, and before you know it, we had a shouting good time.
Walk with me.
Yeah, he's singing really low.
Is the body's internal microphone, and when you use that accompanied with proper tongue positioning, raising the soft palate and lowering the larynx is how you get the maximum effect of the space. Is how opera singers are able to sing without a mic. Shirley Verrett used pharyngeal resonance to project a high D flat over a full chorus and orchestra.
So she's raising her soft palate, and she's also has a lot of support, but I wouldn't really call it pharyngeal resonance, like, because the sound, like with head voice, her sound is resonating up here in her head, it's not resonating in the pharynx. So yeah, she is raising her soft palate, and she has like a really open pharynx, but I wouldn't call it pharyngeal resonance.
The same way Miriam Williams is using pharyngeal resonance to sing over all the Claire Ward girls.
Yeah, same thing.
Marion was so loud, they had our sis step away from the mic, and she still sang over all the girls.
That's a really powerful head voice.
She swallowed them girls whole. Do you hear me? Pharyngeal resonance is the easiest to learn because it is the most natural. But it is difficult to maintain that sound throughout the entire range.
Exactly.
And that is why when many singers begin to head towards the top of the range, they resort to nasality.
It's not resorting to nasality, you have to go there. That's where the voice naturally goes. Like, it shifts from the pharynx up until the nasal cavities.
So what is nasality?
Nasal resonance is not nasality, it's a totally different thing. Nasality is a bad thing, nasal resonance is a great thing.
Zero cholesterol.
Oh my! All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
Pronounce everything so that it sounds as if you've got marbles in your mouth, okay?
You know, once she ate a half of a plastic Oreo cookie before she realized it was a refrigerator magnet.
These are extreme examples.
Can I just clarify, this is not nasal resonance, this is nasality, which is just the air going through your nose. This is not nasal resonance.
But nasality is really the soft palate is down and the tongue is behind your teeth, just like when you're talking.
Behind the anchor desk because she's preparing to bike 100 miles.
It's a race she's been preparing for weeks, as Denise and I can tell you, because we've heard a lot about it. But she joins us live with more on her preparation and a Big Damn Bridge 100.
Unless you talk every day like you're delivering the news. The closer someone's singing voice sounds to their speaking voice, the more nasal it is.
Y'all want to do Shaka? Yeah! Shaka, I love you there. All right. You
They just sang it.
That's not a bad example. Like Mariah here is raising her soft palate, and she's singing in the mask. She's placing her voice in the mask, nasal resonance. It doesn't sound nasally. It doesn't sound like nasality. It sounds great.
Yeah, man, I want you to do a little something with me. This is my good girlfriend, y'all. You know we all have good girlfriends. This is my good girlfriend.
She's kind of joking here, you can tell. Yeah, done perfect.
Well, everybody at home, just continue to pray for our brother, the mother, and father. The good times that made us laugh, I'll wave them back.
He does sound kind of nasally, but it's not because he's using nasal resonance, it's because he just needs to raise his soft palate more.
Nasality is very common in pop music, and it's one of the reasons why it is so palpable to the masses. In classical music, nasality is mostly associated with the very, very high voices. People also use nasality as a means to navigate the top or bottom passaggio.
Yeah. What's the story about the mic, the change in mic?
Oh, she was just, she was singing so sweet, I'm going, nice and sweet, okay. She says, okay, so she was singing very sweet, and then she belted the thing and pinned all the needles and blew out the mic. So my engineer kind of went through the roof.
The voice is so powerful because she's using it correctly. She's using nasal resonance and raising her soft palate. Yeah.
Well, some of you are probably thinking this person or that person sings pop music and they're very loud. So there are a few things going on here. The first being pop music loud. Is not the same as opera loud.
Yeah, of course.
And you'll notice that even the biggest of pop voices still need a mic in order to project. Old school girls like Ethel Merman who are known for being able to sing without a microphone. Well, in this instance, they are singing in Broadway theaters, which are 5,000 and 1,000 seat venues, so it's a lot easier to fill a venue that size compared to a 4,000 seat venue like the Metropolitan Opera House. And more importantly, there's a big difference between sound and noise.
Great run though.
Christina's loud, but it's because she's making a lot of noise. The sound is very There isn't any depth or darkness. It's just loud. Here, Shirley is singing the exact same note, but it has color, it has depth. And the note is so resonant, it sounds like she swallowed the mic and is singing in a stairwell.
I do hear a difference, but they're different singers. So, I mean, Christina is not a good example of vocal technique, but everyone knows that, and she knows that. She just chooses to sing that way. Shirley Bassey's a totally different singer, but I mean, I do prefer Shirley Bassey's note because I love vocal technique and it sounds so open and resonant and supported. So before we go into the next section, I just want to clarify. So like nasality, nasal resonance, the person that made this video doesn't really differentiate between those two, and they're completely different things. So nasality is like when your soft palate is low and the sound is just going through your nose, so kind of like if you make the same exact sound but raise your soft palate, it becomes that's like the only difference. So if your sound is nasal, the sound is going through the nose. If you're using nasal resonance, the air is going through the nose. Nasal resonance, the air is still coming out of your mouth because you raise your soft palate, which blocks the nasal cavity, so the air can't come out your nose. So it comes out the mouth, but then your resonance shifts to the nasal cavity. So that's why it's not nasality, because the sound is not coming out your nose. So it's nasal resonance, which is a good thing, and it's something that, you know, I went through college and uni, and every single vocal coach I've had has always taught nasal resonance. It's a great thing, you know. If you want to use your whole voice, you need to learn nasal resonance too. It's just my opinion.
Mask resonance can best be described as a blend of pharyngeal and nasal resonance.
I don't agree with that. I think nasal resonance and mask is the same thing, to be honest.
While pharyngeal resonance places emphasis on opening the throat,
you should always have your throat open, no matter where your voice is resonating.
And in nasal resonance, the sound goes straight into the nose.
Okay, that's not nasal resonance, that's nasality. Yeah, nasality.
Mask
yeah, all of those examples were nasality, not nasal resonance.
Places emphasis at the top of the head and the front of the face.
So I think he's saying nasal resonance is nasality and mask resonance is nasal resonance, but raising your soft palate. So mask resonance is nasal resonance.
Here's an actual mask. And if you're doing mask singing correctly, you're using the space inside of your head and you will feel it in the mask. Get it? In the mask singing. One of the best ways to find the mask is by pronouncing the accented U sound. Let's take a look.
Italian oo would be too. Now a mask would have an umlaut, it'd be too. Notice the difference?
Yeah.
Classical music, you will find a lot of mass singing in French and German repertoire, where the language and music has a lot of nasal vowels. And you'll notice, similar to pharyngeal singers, mass singers, speaking and singing voices are not identical.
And I sang much Jesus better cross alone, and I forgot the words, and the congregation.
I think that just depends on the person. You know, like some people, their singing voice sounds like their speaking voice, and some people doesn't.
Help me out. And I was 7. Talk about a child. Looking high.
My kitchen was out of whack at the hotel, so I couldn't fix this. I was gonna make potato salad and kale and mustards and some fried chicken and catfish, fried catfish.
That was still nasal resonance. It's just the same thing.
And that is because, unlike nasal singers, they are using the space around the nose, not the actual nose itself.
Yeah, so it's like I was saying before, so the soft palate is raised, so you're resonating in the nasal cavity, but the sound is just the ears coming out the mouth.
And you'll notice when these girls really start to open.
But then when you go into head voice, it's kind of more in your head. It's kind of like your eyebrows or your forehead. Like when you're belting, it's kind of here, and when you're in head voice, it goes a bit higher.
The sound resonates and bounces off the walls, very similar to pharyngeal singers.
Oh,
all nasal resonance.
Singers will change where they resonate for a variety of reasons, and a great example of this would be Whitney Houston. In this clip here, Whitney is singing a low F, but she's almost eating the mic.
Because she's really low
is
in her
not
voice.
very loud or dark, and that's because she's singing this note through the nose.
It doesn't sound nasally to me, it just sounds like she's singing really low, so she's not going to resonate on this note because it's really low in her voice. This isn't where her voice is at its best. It's just really a really low note for her. It doesn't sound nasally though.
And here Whitney is singing the same note, but she's standing away from the mic, and the note noticeably projects further. It has a lot more darkness, richness, and depth, because she's lowered her larynx and opened her throat and has sang this note in the pharyngeal space.
It sounds like the second one just kind of has more air. I mean, I don't think she's placing her voice in a different place. I think it's just she's really low in her voice. I don't really hear a lot of resonance, but she shouldn't really have resonance in this note. She's just projecting using her air because that's all she can really do in this register.
Hear the similarity? As always, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Until next time.
I hope you enjoyed watching this with me. I really enjoyed it. I love this channel in general. The videos are just so well done. There is things that I don't always agree with. I mean, differences of opinion, you know, it's fine. This isn't a hate video, by the way. Just wanted to clarify that. I do love this channel. Go watch these videos, subscribe. I just wanted to give my opinion. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, then please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to work with me, check out the links in my description. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.